Well, Alfonso, now I want to turn to you and your spaceship in cardstock, paper stock, in quarter-inch scale. So welcome.
Thank you again, Jim. Good night. Good evening, gentlemen. So we'll complete the assembly of this Crew Dragon capsule by adding the trunk. This is my last presentation. Trunk is usually, it carries cargo to the space station. But when this version is being launched, the crewed version, it doesn't carry cargo. Just for safety reasons, they don't want to put the cargo. There is another version, which is the Cargo Dragon version. And this is for you to see the difference between the O scale and the 100 scale. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. In this case, this Cargo Dragon carries a payload to, or spare part to the space station. So that's just an example. So let me share my screen now, and I'm gonna show you how to put together the trunk. I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna complete the trunk assembly. There are two main parts, actually, an outer skin here and the inner skin. On my first presentation, I mentioned about techniques and tools to use, so everything applies here. These two parts should be curved accordingly. Here is on the left here, this is the outer skin. I already added the connecting tab here. And on the right, it's already curved. I usually put a little clamp here, helping me to glue that seam line. Here it is, the inner skin that already curved, and it will be inserted here inside the trunk. So there are some features that need to match before gluing them. And I'm talking about on the exterior, this little porthole is an umbilical connector in the real vehicle that is connecting a line with the launch tower. And inside the vehicle is this image that needs to match the one outside. So once we line up those two images, then we can start gluing. And here it is, the inside of the trunk already. It's highly detailed. This is based on real photos. There's a lot of connecting lines and electrical connections, all just like what the photos show. So now we're going to use this part, and this disc here that you see here will be considered that it will be the top of the trunk or the ceiling. And it has some coordinates, the Z and the Y axis. Those have to also be aligned. Now here, this part, let me see, this little part here is going to be covering this gap. And on the back, we can start putting the magnet. And if you remember my second presentation of the assembly of the capsule, I did put a magnet on the heat shield. And the heat shield that is the bottom of the capsule will actually connect with this piece here. This piece here is just to cover the magnet. Here it is. I'm aligning the Z1 minus Z1 with the first fin. This trunk has 4 fins on the exterior, so it's aligned with number 1. Here you could see how the ceiling has been installed according with all the coordinates that need to match. This is how it looks from the top. And now we're going to show you, I'm going to show you how to assemble the connecting arm that goes in the trunk. Pretty straightforward. You need tools to score all these lines here. And because this connecting arm will attach to the outside of the capsule, I have to put a magnet here, and this magnet will attach to a similar magnet on the capsule. Here it is. The umbilical arm is being glued to the exterior of the trunk. And here, this is what I was talking about. The capsule has a similar image of the umbilical facet that it's here on the connecting arm. So both have magnets. The outer part of the trunk has 4 fins. And here is just demonstrating how to make one of such fins. After scoring accordingly on these vertical lines here, we put together, we glue it, both edges, and this is how it should look from the bottom or from the top. It's a triangular shape that is glued in this section here. There's no room to make a mistake because all these fins have a number that will match with similar numbers outside the trunk. As I'm showing here, the fin number 1 will be glued in this area with a number 1 shown. Here is the back of the trunk that is black. It's actually solar panels. So half of the trunk has the aft portion is full of solar panels here. And on the front, as you can see, it's just plain metal of the vehicle. One missing piece to complete each fin is this triangular area where you will need to glue the top of the fin. An extra detail added to the outside of the trunk is to add this little detail on top of the umbilical access hatch or port. It gives some texture. To complete the capsule, there are 2 rings that are glued together, which is here on the left, and that will be glued to the bottom edge of the capsule. This is how it will look, how it looks. Pretty neat. The base that I made just to display the model, pretty straightforward how to assemble it. It's an octagon. And here it is, the complete model with the capsule, with the nose cone, with the trunk. This is another view from the top showing the docking mechanism. View from the bottom side showing all the inside of the trunk. There are the 4 fins. All views of the Crew Dragon. And you may wonder, how is this going to dock to the space station? So here it is. This is my 1/100th scale International Space Station that I made in paper. And you could see the little Crew Dragon dock here to the front of the station. This is how it docks. If you have never seen how the International Space Station looks like is like this. This is about the size of a football field, you know. This is the American section, the Russian section in the back, all the truss here on the top that holds the solar panels. Here we have a Japanese section, European section, and there are other ports all over the station where visiting vehicles, not only the Crew Dragon, but other vehicles from Russia can dock to. Here's a closer view of the actual place area where the Crew Dragon always docks to. This is the front view, the front port, and there's another on the top. So there could be 2 Crew Dragons docked at the same time. Another view here from the front, seeing the inside of the capsule, the trunk. Another view. So pretty much that's what I wanted to share. Let me just share with you. And just to, and here it is. Oh, let me see. You see me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to have a sense of scale, comparing the 2 versions of the Crew Dragon. This is the Crew Dragon, and this is the Cargo Dragon. Notice that it doesn't have windows, and the fire and the Draco thrusters are covered. The difference is that one carries a payload, the other does not. Comparing the size with the older Apollo capsule, you can see the size, more like the same size. And here is a new Orion capsule that is much bigger than an Apollo capsule. And here is a Russian Soyuz, and comparing to the Crew Dragon. Why I show this is just because for you to have an idea of what are the visiting vehicles that go to the space station. And right now, US, as this is the only way to access space to go to bring astronauts to the space station through SpaceX and NASA. This is the Crew Dragon. This is the only one. Orion will be next. It's going to be launched at the end of this year, taking astronauts just to fly around the moon. Pretty much that's it. I still have 1 more minute. I know I have my topic has been about space related vehicles, but I want to share something with you guys. And now you cannot say that I didn't talk about trains. I'm going to share. Let me see. I'm going to share a little video that I came across. Let me see my screen again. It's just 1 minute video you will like. It's about a steamboat, a steam engine train, miniature. Look at that. I like it so much that I'm like wanting to know more about a steam engine. It's so powerful that it's pulling these guys in. I mean, look at that. It uses coal. Have you seen anything like that, guys? Look at that.
Looks like a cold ride.
Yeah. There's a bunch of videos about this, but I'm now really fascinated about learning more about what is a locomotive train, and how it works. So there it is. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation. And I had a good time showing all this, and feel very happy to have been part of this project.
Well, I appreciate so much you doing this, Alfonso. I think you've gotten an awful lot of views and a lot of people who were interested in what you're doing, because you do modeling in a slightly different way than most of us have been doing it in the past. And as we talked earlier, if you decide to design a car maybe that can move one of your SpaceX modules around, let me know. I'd love to have you come back and show us how to put it on our railroads.
Sure, Jim. Yes, I'll let you know. I'm going to start planning that.
Thank you so much, Alfonso. You have a great
Thank you,
day.
guys.